From WFRV Local 5, your local election headquarters. This is Newsmaker Sunday.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for Newsmaker Sunday. I'm Tom Zalaski. Spring election is approaching, and one of the biggest races we're keeping an eye on is for Winnebago County Executive. Incumbent John Damel seeking his second term in that position. He is facing former State Representative Gordon Hintz. Last Sunday, we were joined by Executive Damel. This morning, we welcome in his opponent, former State Representative Gordon Hintz. Gordon, good to have you back on the program again.
Good to be back.
You have a long history of politics and experience in Wisconsin, 2 years and 8 terms in the state assembly from 07 to 23. Why did you get out? Why did you get out of politics?
Well, I thought 16 years in the legislature was enough. It's a different kind of work down there. I have 2 small children. Making the drive back and forth to Madison was taking its toll. I also served as minority leader and served on the Joint Finance Committee, which were sort of additional responsibilities. But I'd done my time. You know, I think it's important to have turnover. I never expected to spend probably as much as 16 years in the legislature, and while I appreciated it, it was time to move on.
So you've been out of the political limelight for a couple of years now, and then you decided to get back in. But before we get into the nuts and bolts of politics, for those who have not necessarily forgotten about you, but need a refresher, Gordon Hintz, where is he from? Where did he go to school, and what's his experience?
Sure. Well, I'm born and raised in Oshkosh, where my wife Liz and my 2 children live today. I have worked in government and public service for more than 20 years at the federal, state, and local level. 16 years in the legislature that I mentioned, but also worked for the city of Long Beach, California as a budget analyst and as a management assistant. I have a master's degree in public administration, and I worked out in Washington, D.C. for U.S. Senator Herb Kohl. But you know, my background and my original motivation for public service was to get into city management. And so this is really a pivot back to public administration, which was my original goal before serving in the legislature.
As you well know, a political campaign just does not involve the candidate himself. It's your whole family, is it not?
Absolutely.
Did they give you permission? Did you tell them you were running? Are they on board with this?
No, absolutely. I mean, something my wife and I talked about. I think the difference in this case is I don't think that I would rejoin partisan politics. You know, to me, the draw of working at the local level is really to get back into government as I believe it. You know, I believe in government having a role to create opportunity in people's lives. I believe in efficient and effective government. I believe in public service. And I think as an administrator who's worked at the state level, given that county government does a lot of state mandated work, this is a good spot for me to make a difference. You know, I've enjoyed my last 2 years working for the Wisconsin Laborers, the building trades union, but I miss public service. I miss being involved in the community, and I think my skill set can help contribute to the work we're doing in Winnebago County to make it a better place.
So you have been busy these past 2 years since you got out.
I have been busy. I've been working. It's been different. I've been doing workforce recruitment and labor management relations for the Wisconsin Laborers District Council Union in Wisconsin, more than 9,000 construction trade workers. And I've learned a lot. And I think that's another thing that can help me as well.
At the top of the show, I asked you why you got out. Now I got to ask you, why are you getting back in?
Yeah. Because I'm still motivated. I was encouraged to run and also thought that, like I said, it was a good fit for me to be able to make a difference. Both my experience, my education, my background, and I think the community need. I'm someone who believes we need more communication, better transparency, and more accountability out of the county executive's office than we're getting now. We have a lot of challenges financially, a lot of challenges both in terms of housing, homelessness, economic development, funding our long-term care, nursing home, and we need to put our best foot forward, and I think can be that person.
Was there a trigger? Was there an event that made you say, I got to get in?
Some people came to me, in the community and said, I think we need some new leadership, and would you think about it? And I had only been out for 2 years. I was enjoying, being out of the spotlight for a little bit. But again, I do view the nonpartisan office as something different. I look forward to working in that way and not being wrapped up sort of in the environment that you might see in Madison and Washington, I do view public service as something that is a respectable career, and I wanted to continue to try to serve my community.
Sure. Our guest, Gordon Hintz, this morning, and he is running for Winnebago County Executive. We have much more to come right after this, so please stay right there. And welcome back to Newsmaker Sunday. Our guest this morning, former State Representative Gordon Hintz. As we mentioned, lots of experience in the legislature for you. Some of your accomplishments. In 2018, you were named Legislator of the Year by the Wisconsin Public Health Association for your work in promoting public health. What did you do to garner that recognition?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we've seen in Wisconsin, and it's especially pertinent to what's happening now in Texas and New Mexico, is we've seen our vaccination rates decline significantly among children for both measles and mumps, and getting below that level that makes it more likely for there to be a spread. So we had a bill to eliminate the personal exemption. I worked with Winnebago County Public Health as well as other public health officials, Hospitals Association, Medical Society, to advocate for changing this to make it harder for people to opt out. We've seen states that have had the most successful vaccination rates and fewer communicable diseases spreading be more successful. So being an advocate, trying to do more informational, more education, is why I was awarded for that. And counties play a huge role in public health. We have public health departments. We're really the arm of the state. And they do, education, prevention, and treatment. And that's why another reason why I think my role from the legislature can translate to being an effective county executive.
Then in 2010, you authored a law requiring carbon monoxide alarms on every level of a home. Why? Was there an incident? What made you get behind that?
Yeah, carbon monoxide poisoning is the silent killer. We, have had incidents in the state, that caused death. We required them, I forget, 2 decades before for smoke alarms. It made sense to add carbon monoxide detectors to this, especially for, new housing projects when they were adding them. We had worked with fire departments around the state, when they come on the scene, when they discover that, after a carbon monoxide poisoning, they said there's nothing worse. So this was a proactive public health measure as well.
You played a big role in financing the Bucks Arena, also bringing the Wisconsin herd to Oshkosh. Were these endeavors because you're a good fan, a good politician, or a good
I'm a huge
businessman?
Milwaukee Bucks fan, to
You
be
are.
honest with you. But I recognize that it was a good deal for the state. The revenue generated from having the Bucks in the state, the income tax revenue alone, more than made up for the state's support for it. But I think it was important for Milwaukee overall. And obviously, without having the Bucks, we wouldn't get the herd in Oshkosh. Being on Joint Finance Committee and being on the Building Commission, I had a lot of background in capital budgeting, and I thought I was able to play an influential role in making sure my colleagues recognized what was at stake.
You are credited with creating jobs at Oshkosh Corporation and Mercury Marine. You don't work there. How did you do it?
Well, when I came in the legislature, it was right before the Great Recession, of 2009.
Right.
And we saw a lot of businesses that were starting to consolidate. And we didn't have that much money as a state to be able to necessarily invest, but we did have refundable tax credits that could be utilized. And so for Oshkosh Corp, it was about helping them incentivize the contracts that they were going to be able to get, I think, for the JLTV expansion, and to make sure that they were building them in Oshkosh and make their bid more affordable. For Mercury Marine, it was when Oklahoma was competing with them for jobs, and we were working with the county of Fond du Lac and putting incentives together to make sure that we actually moved everything to Fond du Lac and not down to Oklahoma. So in both cases, they were proactive measures taken during a difficult time in our economy to make sure that we were keeping, because it's not just those two employers. We have supply chains all around the area, and I think people don't recognize how important those two decisions were.
Yeah. And you've got some culture in your DNA, and you'll remember this. You helped bring funding to repair the Grand Opera House in Oshkosh.
That's right.
What was needed there, and why did you get behind that? You had other things, I'm sure, on your plate.
So I worked on the State Building Commission. We approve all of the infrastructure, the capital budget for the state of Wisconsin, and I was familiar with the Grand project. When they were getting fire sprinklers put in, they discovered that there was a problem with the roof, and it was at risk of collapsing. Right. And they did not have the resources. This also took place during the time of the Great Recession, where it was going to be harder to be able to do it. Sure. The Grand's Future being the oldest opera house in the state, the oldest theater in the state, its future was at risk. We were able to do a match where if we raised private resources, if the city put in money, the state would throw in $500,000 to preserve it. And, I was happy that I was able to champion that for Oshkosh.
Wow. Our guest, Gordon Hintz, former state representative, now running for Winnebago County Executive. We have much more to come with him, so stay right there. Back now with former State Representative Gordon Hintz, who's running for Winnebago County Executive. Some of the biggest issues facing Winnebago County.
I think for county government, it's really making sure that we have a transparent and detailed budget where we understand how much money we actually have. We have a deficit that we budget of $6.8 million, yet we always end up with more money at the end. And I think we need to rectify this if we're going to figure out how we're going to fund programs going forward. So getting our fiscal house in order, I think, is a priority for county government. But Winnebago County is urban, rural, suburban. Neenah and Ashe are sort of at the top. Oshkosh is in the middle or bottom. Yep. And we need to balance everybody's interests. But everybody's got housing challenges, workforce housing, increasing homelessness. I think this is something that we've been hearing across the county. Mm-hmm. And the county provides a lot of services to some of the most vulnerable citizens. And then from a workforce housing population or housing need, being able to coordinate and use some of the resources that might be available from the Industrial Development Fund to be able to partner with municipalities that might be trying to develop housing to help our businesses that are trying to fill jobs. So it's really about moving forward, making sure that we're in a stable place as a government, but ready to grow and meet the needs collectively. We need to start thinking more as a region, more as a county, working together with municipalities and, with what the county does to be able to achieve these things. And, I'm very focused on that. But, we've got an aging population. We've got, increased needs at the county level. We don't have unlimited resources. We're going to continue to, we can't just do the status quo. But, I do think that the collective needs of the county being proactive are going to have to take precedent.
Mm-hmm. What's top of list day one you get in office?
Well, day one, I've got a lot of meetings. I've got, I think 18 department heads to meet with. Right. I believe in letting managers manage. I'm not there to micromanage. I'm there to support them. Mm-hmm. How can I best support the work that they need to do? What resources do we need to solve the problems? What can we do differently? I also need to reach out to our municipal partners, make sure that the towns and villages and cities in Winnebago County know that they've got a partner at the county level and that we can work on our shared interests collectively. But the last one, and perhaps most important one, is connecting with the public. I think among all levels of government, the county is probably the most out of sight, out of mind. A lot of people just don't have interaction with county government unless they're being directly served by the services. Right. And we need to find a better way to be proactive on engagement. I've always held office hours, town halls, budget forums to get feedback directly from the citizens. And at a time when there's distrust in government, I think this is more important than ever. So I think really working on how we're going to re-engage people from the county government level is something I'm going to prioritize.
Mm-hmm. Everybody runs for office because they think they can do better than the other guy. And your issues with John Damel, who, by the way, says he likes you.
John and I are friends. I've known him for 20 years. I think the intent behind some of the things that he's tried to do was good. Mm-hmm. But I do think the communication piece with, especially with local government, fell apart over the ARPA distribution, some of the federal money where there was either poor communication or no communication. Yeah. We saw it with the strategic plan where communities said they never heard anything. Before the county did it. We've seen some dysfunction on the county board between micromanaging of agendas, some pushback on that. I think some of the transparency, he's tripled his staff, he's added consultants, and I don't know that the county's seen the benefit of that work. We have seen a budget that's less transparent than the one that was in 2020 in terms of the information, the charts, the details that are in there. But you also hear things, he met with his department heads once in 2024. Who's running the county if you are meeting with your department heads once in a year? If you're trying to collaborate, you need to be working with your cabinet and know what they're doing. And the reality is that's not how I would run the county.
A quote from you: efficient and effective government begins with transparency and accountability, which you have mentioned in this interview several times. What is your issue with transparency and accountability in the current administration?
Well, I think you mean part of it is transparency can't just be about like we meet the letter of the law and we we throw a bunch of numbers out there, we throw all the data out there. True transparency is meeting the public where they're at. It's putting documents and information out there so people can actually understand it and do something with it, and it's getting the culture of your departments to understand, to buy into the fact that we want to make this as transparent as possible so people actually understand what we're doing and what we're providing, and engage them at that level. As I mentioned before, there's been some incidents that I don't think were that transparent. On the accountability side, tripling the size of the staff, hiring consultants to do budgeting that they've been working on for years with no results that I think are tangible, I think raise questions. They added a staff they said was going to be paid for with grant funding, but we haven't heard whether that's actually happened, and we haven't heard any big grants that we've secured. So, what's going on with that? I think, again, the intent behind some of the promises and claims and words has been good, but the execution has left a lot to be desired, and there seems to be a lot of jumping around between what they're doing.
We are back to wrap up with Gordon Hins right after this, so please stay right there. We are back now with Gordon Hins as he tries to become the next Winnebago County Executive. Primary election, you did real well. 50% of the vote, 27 for your opponent, John Damel. The third person in there, John Matz, got 23%. What do you attribute your strong showing to in that primary?
I think, 72% of the voters said they wanted somebody else besides the current county executive. We, our campaign worked hard to reach people, to present an alternative vision for what the county executive's office could be. We knocked on doors, we did mail, we ran some ads. But I think my record for, people that knew me in the legislature knew that I worked hard, that I advocated, that I was an effective public servant, and, thought that could translate well for the county.
Yeah. What do you need to do between now and that final stretch, which is not so final? It's
a little bit of
everything.
Away. Primary voter elections involve far fewer voters, and I've learned that it's a big county. It's a lot more than my assembly district. And I'm still getting to areas every weekend. I'm still working full time and spend my Saturdays and Sundays, knocking on doors. It's nice that it's a little warmer, but it's really reaching people, reminding them that there's a county election. The Supreme Court race is certainly drowning out a lot of voices, but you got to remind people why county government matters, why local government matters, and why leadership matters, and let them know what you're running on, and then try to listen to their concerns as well. Again, public trust in government is down, and you want to be able to remind them about what government can do, and that you're not defending the status quo, and that you believe, the positive role that government can play, and that you're committed to making it happen.
So what will Winnebago County residents see differently in a Hins administration as opposed to a Damel administration?
Yeah, I think the big one will be on the communication and public engagement side. Yep. I think you'll see the kind of transparency that I'm talking about that meets people where they're at, that isn't just throwing numbers and legal compliance out there. And I think we'll be accountable. We'll make sure that when we announce something, we're following through and we're executing with it. When we have big initiatives, we'll try to make sure that we're sticking to them, and we're going to try to get all the ships in Winnebago County moving in the same direction. It's a challenge. There are 36 county board members of all different priorities given the areas that they represent. But collectively, we need to start thinking as a county that, investing in one part of the county benefits the whole county. Supporting municipalities in one area on housing, supports businesses across the county that are looking for workforce housing. Issues like that are things that we need to be able to come together on. And I think I'm an effective leader at understanding the operational and political decision making.
Gordon, I've got about a minute left for you to give your campaign pitch as to why you should be the next Winnebago County Executive.
Great. Well, as someone who's represented Winnebago County before at the federal level and at the state level, I'm someone that thinks they've got the government background and public service experience. I think, again, I understand the political and operational decision making that goes into being an effective county administrator. I think I've got a background and a master's degree in public policy and public administration, where you dealt with issues like personnel, public budgeting, housing, urban and regional planning, a lot of the issues that are before us. And you know, my time in the state really dealt with a lot of the issues that the county's dealing with. I'm someone who believes in public institutions. I'm someone who believes in public employees, but I also don't think we can defend the status quo. We always need to find more effective and more efficient ways to do things, and I'm committed to doing that. I'm motivated for the right reasons.
And I take it you'll be able to bring that legislative experience into the county executive's office.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, we always have to work with Madison to advocate and to make sure that the decisions they're making are hopefully win-wins for us.
Yeah, do you still have friends back there in Madison? That
I
you
do.
can,
I'm still I'm pretty connected on both sides. So hopefully they're cheering me on.
That's always helpful to be both sides of the aisle. All right, Gordon Hins, good to have you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And if you have a newsmaker in your town who you think we should have on this program, let us know about it. Send us an email to tips@wearegreenbay.com, or you can message us on Facebook. And be sure to join us once again Sunday morning at 7:30. Until then, have a great day.